Hello everyone, this is Athar Vashne, and in this video we are going to be creating a color picker Chrome extension. So let us see the demo of it first. So I've let me open another tab, for example google.com, and our pop-up for our extension is this. If I click on this, the pop-up opens and we have a button over here, pick color from the web page. If I click that, we can select any color. For example, if I select this red color, this red, and now if I check the pop-up, as you can see, I get this over here, and if I click that, I'm getting that in the memory, sorry, in the clipboard. See, we are getting that. So another thing is we can clear the memory as well. So this stays in the memory, the local storage, and if I click clear memory and again go back to the pop-up, as you can see that list item is not appearing over here. So this is the extension which we are going to make in this video. So let's get started. So as usual, first of all, we are going to create manifest.json file. Inside that, we'll define the name of our extension, the description, and the version of our extension. Next thing is the manifest version. So we are going to use manifest version 3 in this video, as this is the latest one, and manifest version 2 support will be gone after January 2023. Next thing is the action. Here we can define default pop-up and default icon. I'm not going to add any icon in this video, but you can simply define that by default icon. Next thing is the content script. So this is the script which is injected into each and every website, not each and every website whose URL matches this. We are going to be adding that in every website. So I have written all URLs. We can use this format in manifest version 3. And next thing is JS, which will be the file, JavaScript file, which will be injected into the web page. So that's it for this content scripts. And next thing is permissions. We are going to be using two permissions, tabs and storage. Tabs will help us to send a message to the content script of the current web page which is open, so that it can enable the user to select any pixel of the web page. Next thing is the storage. This will help us to store the hex code of the pixel selected by the user in the local storage and display that in the pop-up. Next thing is the host permissions. We're going to be adding all URLs as we have used that over here. So we are going to take the host permission of that. So that's it for the manifest file. Let us create these two files. So now let us first type the boilerplate code for popup.html. Let me copy some HTML for it. So now let us paste that. So this is the basic HTML for our pop-up. This is the main container of our pop-up and the heading of our pop-up, which is EyeDropper, and a container for the button, which will on which the user will click and select any pixel color of the web page. And the next thing is the list, which will display all the selected pixels or the colors by the user. So that's it for the HTML part. I've also copied the styling for this. This is some basic styling. This you can copy this from the code link which I will mention in the description below. So that's it for the popup.html. Let us also link our popup.js file, which we'll create in a second. Script src popup.js, and let us also link our script into this file popup.js. We cannot use any inline JavaScript in Chrome extensions. That's why we need to create a different separate file. Let us create that, and inside that we'll define document.add event listener, DOM content loaded, and an arrow function. So what this will do is that will trigger this function whenever this HTML part is loaded. Inside here we'll define main cont as this main container document dot get element by id, get element by id main con, and like that we are also going to take link of button container, which is this picker button container, and the result list as well. The next thing which we are going to do is chrome.tabs.query. So this is a large code. Let me explain this. What we are doing is chrome.tabs.query active true, current window true. So what this does is that will give us the tabs who are active currently and are active in the current window. So for example, I've opened two tabs. So this new tab is currently active and that extension is not active. And for example, I have opened 2 to 3 windows of Chrome and the current selected window is this one, and the tab the currently active tab is this new tab. So we'll get this new tab inside over here. Let me close this, and yeah, so this tabs will be list, and a list of tabs who are matching these conditions. So in our case that will be only one, so we are going to be taking the first element or the 0th element of that list and setting as tab. Now we are also going to check if the URL of that tab is Chrome. For example, this Chrome extensions page is Chrome colon slash slash extensions. So we are going to be checking this if the URL is Chrome or not, if it contains Chrome or not. Because we extensions cannot access any Chrome page, including this new tab, because this is Chrome colon slash slash new tab. So we are going to check that. If that is so, we are going to add in a text which is EyeDropper can't access Chrome pages. So next thing which we are going to check is file, because whenever we open any local file, for example image or anything, we cannot access that from Chrome extensions. So that is why we are also checking that if the currently open tab URL is file or not. If that is so, we are again going to add a text EyeDropper can't access local pages. Now finally, if these two conditions are not matching, that means we are on the right website. Then what we are going to do is we are going to create a button and then setting the inner text of it, the text of it, as pick color from webpage. So this is the main button which will help the users select any color. The ID for that button we are going to set as picker button. Okay, now we are, after setting this up, we're adding a event listener click to that button. So whenever the user clicks on that button, what we are going to do is we are going to send a message to the content script of that page. So like I've opened google.com over here and I've opened the pop-up as well. Now when I click on the button, that should send a message to the content script of this website, not any other tab website or of this website, so that the content script will run a function so that user can select any pixel. So we are simply doing that chrome.tabs.send message over here, and we are also checking that if the browser supports EyeDropper or not. EyeDropper will help us to select any color. We'll see that in a bit. And then we are going to create this function which will show the error message, and then we are sending the message to the particular tab whose ID is this thing, which we have we are getting the tab over here, the current tab, and we are setting the ID of it. The next parameter is the message, which we are going to pass as an object, which will contain from popup, and the query is EyeDropper clicked. Now after sending this message, we are also going to close the window, the pop-up window, which I'll show that in a second after we'll test it. And then after writing this on click event listener function, we're going to append the this button to the button container, which is picker button container. Okay, So in the content script, we are I've just pasted some code. So what it does is chrome.runtime.onMessage.add listener. So what it is doing is it will add a listener to each and every message which we'll receive. So for example, I've sent a message, then this function will receive, and over here we are checking that if the message is from popup, because message is this object, and we are setting from as popup. So if the message is from popup and the query is eyedropper clicked, so this query eyedropper clicked. So this is a good practice to follow. So you can also use that, but otherwise you can also pass a simple string and check that over here, or you can also never check it in this simple extension. So now we know that the message is coming from the popup and user has clicked on that button. So now we need to enable the eyedropper. So for it, what we are going to do is, after a timeout of 500 milliseconds, because I'll let you know that after we test. Okay, so we are enabling the eyedropper object from JavaScript, and then we are opening the eyedropper.open.then. So let me explain this thing. What this thing does is it will open the eyedropper, that icon which you saw in the starting of the video, and when user selects any pixel, then it will give a result to us, result.srgb. Let us also console.log for better understanding. Console.log result. Okay, and then after user has selected any particular pixel, what we are going to do is save that into the chrome.storage.local. So first we are taking this Chrome hex code, which is the key for our object, which we are going to save in the local storage. So chrome.storage.local.get color hex code. So after this, we are checking if the that list exists or not. Because for example, we are using our extension the first time, then the this list will not occur in that local storage. That's why we are checking the presence of it, and if it is present and the length of it is greater than 0, that means an item is there inside that list. Then what we are going to do is we are set the color hex code as a list with the previous data, which is res.color hex code, which we'll get in the response. And then the next data which we are pushing or appending is the current pixel data which user has selected. So this is result, which is coming from here, .srgb hex, which will contain the hex code for that particular pixel. Now for example, the user is using the extension for the first time, then this color hex code will not exist over there. So that's why we are adding an else statement over here. So if the color hex code doesn't exist, then we are going to set that color hex code with a simple list and a simple one item as currently selected pixel. Finally, what we are going to do is we are also catching any error. For example, we get any error, so we are going to be getting that and consoling.log. Okay, now that's it for content script and also the pop-up. Okay, now let us reload our extension and test it out. Open the pop-up, and yeah, we got this button, and if I click on that, see that window is closed, and now the button, this crosshair or whatever it is, the selecting is appearing. So I have typed this set timeout because window.close takes some time to close. So that's why after the window is closed, we are going to be enabling the eyedropper. So this is the function of this is this much only. Now again, let us open google.com and open the pop-up, and let us select any color. Let us select this blue color, and if I inspect in the console, as you can see, I've got this object, and inside that we get sRGB hex as the color, the hex code for that color, because we have also console.log over here. So this result we are getting as sRGB hex and the hex code. Now let us also see the storage of our extension. Inspect, and I've also linked this like this extension which I'm using to see the storage of my extension. I'll link that to the in the description below. So as you can see in the storage, we get color hex code as a list with a single item, and that item is the hex code for this blue color. And now the last thing is left. We are going to show this color over here as a list item over here. So let us type that function as well. So go in the popup.js, and after this whole thing, this button thing, we are going to be writing this function. I've pasted it over here. So chrome.storage.local.get. So we are getting the color hex code which is this thing, this item, and we are getting that if that exists in the storage and it contains one or more items, then we are going to be making some list items, as you can see. So for each item in that list, for each item, like wait, yeah, this is one item, and for example I've selected 10 colors, then it will be containing 10 items. Then we are going to be mentioning a for each loop, and we are going to be taking each and every element as hex code. After we are taking each and every element, we are going to be creating a list item for each and every color, and we'll append that in this unordered list. So we are creating a list item, and the inner text of that will be the hex code, which is this item, and we are going to be setting the background color of it as the hex code as well, because for a better understanding for the user which color is what, we are going to be setting the background color of it as the color selected. And finally we are going to be adding a click event. If that item is clicked or that color is clicked, we are going to be copying that particular hex code to the clipboard. So for that we are typing navigator.clipboard.write text hex code. Hex code is the code which we are getting inside this list. Okay. And finally, after all this list item thing, we are going to be appending that in the result list, which is this list up here, which we have the result list, and this is the result list. So for each item, it is going to be creating list item and setting the inner text, the background color, and setting add event listener and everything. After that, it will append that into the list. And this is the item thing. The last thing which is left is the clear button. So for example, user wants to clear the memory, so we are going to be providing a button for it. So the button is clear button. We are going to be creating an element button, and finally we are also setting add event listener click. Whenever that button is clicked, we are going to be removing this particular object over from here, this color hex code. We are going to be deleting that completely from our storage. So chrome.storage.local.remove the key name, which is color hex code. And after doing that, we are again going to be closing the window, which is pop-up in our case. Okay, so that's it. And after this, we are also going to be appending the clear button into the main container, so that it will be present in the last bottom line of the pop-up. So that's it. Let us save and reload. Let me open Google and open color picker. As you can see, we are seeing this because we have selected this previously. We are also getting this clear memory thing. Let us select another color, for example this red color, and open the pop-up. See, we get this as well. Now if I click clear memory, that pop-up is closed, and as you can see, we cannot see anything. And if I also see the storage of it, yeah, see, there's no item in this area. So this is some basic code. I'll link this into the description below. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.